Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss from 9th class English textbook, Unit 1, first lesson. So the theme of Unit 1 is humor. Humor is nothing but we can go for the meanings like comedy, funny, a joke. We can go for the meaning. So from the unit, the first lesson is for us, that is the snake and the mirror. So look at that screen, you can get the textbook available there on the screen. So line by line we are going to discuss from this lesson. The snake and the mirror. So it was a wonderful narration by a young doctor who is sharing his feelings, what happened at his home, in his room. So we are going to see that beautiful narration now. So look at the screen and we are going to start the lesson. So has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra. All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with the tale. Now, a young doctor is sharing his experiences. What happened in his life when they are discussing about snake topic. And then doctor, our narrator, is explaining his own experience to the young doctors along with his, we can say, his colleagues. Now, it was happened in a hot summer. So it was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. I took off my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. Now, the story begins by the narrator when he went to his room after taking his meal from the restaurant and he reached his room. When he opened the door, he heard a welcome noise from the rats. So the rats welcomed with the noise. Then everybody knows that who went to his room. They know that he was sharing the room with the rats because the room was fully filled with rats. So immediately he went to his room and he opened the door and he took a match box and he lit the candle, kerosene lamp, and he was now to explain that the condition of the room. How was the room? Now look at that. So the room was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up my medical practice and my earnings were meager. Means very small. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with my shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. Now you can see the condition of the room. The narrator, our young doctor, is explaining the condition of the room. How was the room? The room was not electrified because there was no current in the room. For that only he lit a kerosene lamp. Later, what is his properties? He's simply saying that how much rupees he has, 60 rupees in his suitcase along with his dhotis and some shirts and a coat which he was wearing because the doctor. So he is having one black coat. So next, I took off my black coat. So took off is a phrasal verb. In the next class we will go for a clear explanation of phrasal verbs. So I took off my black coat, white shirt and not so white vest and hung them up. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open air. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats too. And from the beam, I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. Time off also is a phrasal verb. Now see here. So now he reached home and he removed his dress and coat and everything and he opened the windows and he was about to sleep. but he couldn't sleep because he is not getting a proper air. So when he went out, he used a figure of speech there. He said that when I went out, the wind god has taken off, means he already left the place. So here he is a good figure of speech explaining about the condition. So now the young doctor is in his room. The room was filled with rats. There was no electricity and there was no ceiling. There was no proper arrangement for the room. Why? Because he's a bachelor, and moreover he is not having any earnings. So for that he was staying in such an uncomfortable room. So let us go for next one. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table which stood the lamp and a large mirror, a small comb. Many people will say comb. That is not comb, that is comb. Lay beside the mirror. So now he went inside again and he opened the book and he kept a kerosene lamp in front of him, and there was a mirror inside in front of him, and he opened the book Materia Medica and his medical book, and he started trying to read something from the book. Now what happened? One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near. I took a look. In those days I was a great admirer of beauty, and I believed in making myself look handsome. I was unmarried and was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting of so that it looked straight and neat. Again I heard that sound from above. So now he looked and he opened the book and he was about to read. And I already said in front of him there was a mirror. So after seeing the mirror, what happened? Everybody, if you are going in front of a mirror, if you are about to complete in 1 minute, it will take 10 minutes, because we love ourselves. The same thing, the doctor was a big lover of himself. He want to make him beauty, he want to become handsome always. So in front of his mirror, when he look at the mirror, he is talking to himself. We can call it soliloquy. So he took a comb and he started parting his hair. So now we can see that mirror always attracts the humans. That makes us to feel whatever the important work we have, if you go for in front of mirror, we will concentrate on beauty. Everybody likes themselves. Yes or no? Nobody is not there. Everybody, we love ourselves. So same thing, the doctor, when he opened the book, but he was not able to read the book because the mirror in front of him attracted him. So he kept book aside and he started looking at himself and he was trying to make himself more handsome. So at the time again he heard a sound from the roof. Next, I took a close look at my face in the mirror and I made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor. Now see, he is taking first a decision. Look at the decisions in his life now. When he is looking at the mirror, he is taking some certain decisions. The first decision is he want to shave himself daily, because if I shave myself, I will look more handsome. Moreover, I am a bachelor. At the same time, I am a doctor, so I want to look more handsome. Further, many people will attract towards me. So then I will get a good girl to get married. So that is the first decision of the young doctor. When he was looking at the mirror, he took that I want to shave every day. So next, second one, I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face. To look more handsome, I was after all a bachelor and a doctor too on top of it. Now see the doctor now. He was a well-educated man. He was a doctor, but even when he looking at the mirror, he is concentrating on his beautiness. So first what he said, I want to shave my one. Number two is second earth-shaking decision. Such a great decision. He look at this mirror and try to practice smile. Look good. So he started practicing a smile, how to make a good smile. So later he come to know, yes, this is a good smile. So I want to maintain a smile always on my face. So my dear children who are listening in the class, don't forget to maintain smile always on your face, because the smile is sign of a positive vibes. So whenever your smiles, it will make others to clear or to vanish or to remove all the negative options or negative opinions on you. So maintain smile always on your face. That makes you great. That makes you to feel very comfortable in any situation. So that is the second earth-shaking decision which was taken by our young doctor. That is, I want to maintain smile always on my face. So next point we are going to see that again came that noise from above. So when he was taking the decisions, again he heard a strange noise from the roof. Now I got up a little beady and paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. She had to be fat for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. So now another such a great decision took by our great young doctor. What he is saying, so he took a little bidi. It was very, very harmful. Even if he was a doctor, he is committing a mistake here. That is, smoking is injurious to health always. So again, he is a doctor. He is doing a small mistake here, our narrator. But he is taking another different decision, that is about a woman whom he is going to marry. That girl should be a woman doctor, and should have more money and good medical practice. At the same time, he is taking one more funny decision, that is, she should be very fat. Why? Because if I did any mistake, if I did any wrong things, if I ran away from her, she was unable to catch. So that was the very, very criminal knowledge. We can say he's not a doctor, he's a lawyer, criminal and knowledgeable person. Such a great decision, a funny decision took by our young doctor. So let us go for continuation that. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair. In front of the table, there were no sounds from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen on the ground. Surely nothing to worry about. Even so, I thought I would turn around and took a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snake's landing on me and my turning were simultaneous. So now what happened? Such a great humorous person got a great dangerous situation. What is that? Sound has been stopped. He thought, okay, the rats were sleeping. But suddenly what happened, a third sound heard by the doctor. And silently he just turned. What is that? When he turned, immediately has seen a big snake. He wanted a fat woman, but he has seen a fat snake on his shoulder. So now he was unable to move. If he moves, immediately the snake will bite. So now the doctor having a pathetic condition, sad condition. He was unable to move, he was unable to talk. Now imagine the condition of a doctor. For example, now I'm teaching the lesson for you now. So suddenly a snake fallen on my shoulder. So what should I do? If I move, it will bite. So the doctor was unable to move and he was unable to talk. Simply he was stunned like a statue, like this. So now the young doctor decision is now pending. When we are going for a cricket match, they will give for review. Third umpire means so decision pending. So now our young doctor decision means a moment was pending. He was unable to talk. He was not able to move. He was doing nothing, simply like a statue who was like that. So now see what our young doctor did and how he escaped from the condition by reading that. So I didn't jump, I didn't tremble, I didn't cry out. There was no time to do any such thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. Now see, just the snake was on his shoulder and now it was like this. As like Lord Shiva, we can see the snake around his neck. Same like Lord Shiva, became now. Our doctor became a Shiva now. Lord Shiva. Now the snake was beside of him and he was about to move. Just like this. The snake and the doctor. Hi, how are you? So both they are talking. So he was unable to, he didn't jump. He didn't tremble. He is not doing any action. Simply he was like that. So now what the doctor did, we can see now such an condition. Let us see that. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the light, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. Now what happened? I was like a stone. It was like that. The room was open. The door was open. Everything was dark. Nothing was visible. Nothing is visible. So it was very, very dark. So now the doctor became like a stone. The snake is beside of him and it was looking like. So now what our young doctor is going to do, let us see that. So at my slightest movement, the snake would strike me. Death lurked 4 inches away. Suppose it struck, what was the medicine I had to take? There was no medicines in the room. I was but a poor, foolish and stupid doctor. I forget my danger and smile feebly at myself. Now, our doctor condition. Let us see the doctor condition. He was saying that how fool I was, just 4 inches away. There was a snake and there is my death 4 inches away from me. How fool I was. Without knowing all these things, I took many decisions to shave myself, to maintain smile always on my face, to marry a fat woman. How stupid person I was. So now he was saying that he was a foolish man. Previously what he said, I was a handsome person, I'm a doctor, I'm a great man. He thought many things. Now what happened? Everything has been gone. So what he decided, he wanted to maintain smile always. Now is it possible to maintain a smile? Is it possible in this condition? Now he is saying that, no, it is not at all possible. I am a fool. I am a fool. It seemed as if God appreciated that the snake turned its head. It looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. I could not claim it was the first snake that had ever looked into a mirror. But it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? Now see such a humorous dialogues which was given by our young doctor in that condition also. So he was he was praying God, how fool I was. So immediately the snake just turned its face into the mirror. So now the snake is looking into the mirror. Now the young doctor is saying that whether the snake was admired about its own beauty, whether it is also going to take some earth-shaking decisions, how I took like me. So I took to shave myself, to make good mustache and everything I decided. So like me, this snake also going to take such an earth-shaking decisions. So now in that condition also, see the narrator, how funny he was. So that was such a humorous element we are going to take from the narrator. So now immediately the snake looking at the mirror. I don't know anything for certain. What sex was the snake? Was it male or female? I will never know, for the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. From there it crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. Now slowly what happened? When he was thinking of all these things, slowly the snake slowly crept down, 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 and reached in front of the mirror. Now it is in front of the mirror. He is saying that maybe there is a long distance from mirror to my body. So now slowly he went into the mirror, and it is looking into the mirror closely. The snake was enjoying its own reflection, at the same time beauty. Maybe the snake is also, most probably we can decide that the snake is also female, because most of the females will touch the mirror. So the snake is also a female snake. For that only it went very near to the mirror, and it is going to take such an decisions. So let us see what. I was no mere image cut in granite. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there, I leapt into the yard and ran for all I was worth. Now see the young doctor, what happened? Till now he was a stone. When the snake went near to the mirror, immediately he got flesh and he got blood, and immediately he stood from the chair and he ran through the door and he reached the yard. From there he is not looking back, he is not turning back. So whatever the strength he is having, so with his full effort he was moving forward and no turning back. So now where he reached, let us find out. Few, each of us heaved a sign of relief. All of us lit biddies. Somebody asked, Doctor, is your wife very fat? Such a great question. See here. So when he reached his friend's home, then they are asking, oh, doctor, how is your wife? Is she very fat? Now, all they're commenting on our young doctor for having such a strange incident. Now, no, the doctor said, God willed otherwise. My life companion is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. Now the decision has been changed. Before he said he want a fat woman, now he was changed the decision, saying that no, I don't want fat woman, I want thin, and that is sprinter who is very, very active. So I want such an thin, feeble woman to get into my life. Someone else asked, Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you? The doctor replied, I ran till I reached the friend's house. Immediately, I simmered oil all over myself and took a bath. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning, about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there. But we found we had little to carry. Some thief had removed most of my things. The room had been cleared out, but not really. The thief had left behind one thing as a final insult. So now what happened? See, the doctor went in the morning. Next question asked by the friend and his colleague, Doctor, does the snake follow you? Now he said, no, I don't know why, because I didn't turn back. So he reached his friend's room and he took a bath. And again in the next day morning he went along with fellow doctors and he reached his room. There he was a big insult. What happened? See, a thief went into his room and stolen all his properties. Now he was saying something, an insult happened to him. What was the insult? The doctor said, my waist, the dirty one. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? The doctor laughed. I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken its own beauty. Now see, the doctor asked one of the doctor asked him that whether the doctor have you seen the snake, your wife again? No, he's saying that no, I didn't saw the snake again because it has taken its own beauty. Now before that he's saying an insult. What is the insult? The thief came and he took all his properties, but he left one waste because it was very, very dirty one. And he's saying that such an fellow, that idiot fellow, he took all the things. Why he left this only one thing? That is very insult to me. He can wash and he can use it again. So now it is the conclusion of the lesson. Let us remember all those things again. So our young doctor is explaining the condition, his story, what happened to him, and he was a young doctor and he was explaining the story. So he went to his room. The room was not electrified. There was no current. When he opened the door, the sounds of rat was very common in his room. Later, he went inside, he opened the door and he sat on the chair. He lit the kerosene lamp and he sat and he opened the Materia Medica book and he started reading. When he was reading again, he heard the sounds of rats and he thought it was very quite common. So when he was looking at the mirror, he took 3 decisions. One is maintaining a clean shave. Next is smile. Third one is marrying a fat woman. Why? Because if he marry a fat woman, she can't run along with him when he did any mistakes. So that was a funny decision which was taken by the doctor. When he was taking the decisions, a snake fallen on his shoulder. Then he became a stone. And now slowly the snake turned and reached the mirror and looking at its own beautiness. Immediately the doctor got up and he became flesh and blood. Till now he was a stone, now he became a human. And he got up and he ran to his friend's room. And later he took a fresh bath and wore new clothes. And later in the next day morning he reached his room and he took all the remaining things which was left by the thief, that only one waste, and he reached the back. So that is the end of the story of this lesson, the snake and the mirror. The story ends with it take its own beauty. That we can say that the snake which was taken its own beauty. So everybody have their own beautiness. So don't worry about the beautiness whatever we have. So the doctor is having different beauty, the snake having different beauty. So everybody have their own beautiness. So such young fellows, students, children who are listening to this class, don't forget to comment. If you have any doubts, comment below. And don't forget to share, make your friends to listen to the class during these Corona days. We don't have any live classes, so we are maintaining all web classes. So who are listening to this class, try to share to your friends, make others to subscribe. So thank you, have a great day, and bye.